Gods and goddesses in training, welcome back to the channel. It's Uncle Makara. Today we're talking about a very important topic, man, and it's the topic of waiting. Okay, now I've had to experience a lot of deficits in this particular area of constantly waiting around for something to happen instead of creating the willpower and the energy towards the direction of what you would like to happen. So a lot of the times what happens is we get caught up in other people's storylines, okay? We get caught up in somebody else's drama, whereas we've got to be the main character creating our own drama in a sense. But that drama does not have to be dramatic. It is simply expressive. It is who you are, it's what you stand for, it's be, do, have, right? So coming back to this understanding that when you're procrastinating, you're really being a dick to your future self. So it's a form of self-abuse where you're not really taking care of yourself by doing the things that you know you should be doing, okay? Now, oftentimes, and this is my big epiphany here today, guys, okay? Waiting around is a trauma response. Waiting around, waiting for the right time, the right place, the right moment, you see, that's when you're out of synchronicity, because you're not accepting all there is. You're simply trying to reflect and refract right outside of your perspective. So start to understand that once you're waiting around, it's just your ego preserving itself to keep you familiar, to keep you stuck exactly where you're at, okay? So it's not about one day I'll do this, it's about day one, let's get started. And this is a very important energy, I feel, because there's a lot of people that will come along in the spiritual industry that's gonna give you like almost a checklist of things to do, right? You have to have this, you have to do this, you have to have this. But the internal certainty and the internal knowingness and the flushing of the negative energy through meditative experiences, okay? Creating and manifesting what we will focus on, not what we won't focus on. So when I'm creating, when I'm manifesting, I'm trying to look for the bigger picture. I'm looking at the new earth. I'm exploring my divinity and my archetype in the way that it's gonna evolve me over the years. But I'm not future projecting to a certain standpoint of be like, oh, that's where I need to get to. How will I get there? That's all ego still. It's like knowing exactly detailed plan of how it's gonna happen, okay? Now, I'm open to planning and I'm stretching into the idea of organization, but I've even reframed the word. The word for me now is alignment. Because anything that is disorganized is not aligned towards my truth, my principles, my avatar. You guys get what I mean? So this is actually changing my paradigm right now as I'm sitting and thinking and contemplating about it. This park, this beautiful park we have here in Kolkata, right next to my building here in Newtown. Just beautiful realizations today, guys, right? Yesterday we had done like maybe Ryan G did like 7-8 rituals. I probably did like 4 on feminine healing, right? Because of the 22nd 2-2, very feminine energy, Mother Earth, Mother Gaia. Across this post from Flavia the other day. She's a person that I had on my podcast a while back, a very radiant woman, you know, who's a poet. And she was saying, what if we were the guardians of the earth, right? What if we were the protectors of the earth? She said something like that. And I commented, guardians of Gaia. Because not in this way, like I'm gonna environmentally clean up the seashore because it's gonna make my ego feel validated. But more so, I'm gonna not trash a place, you know? Just because it serves me to do so, right? It doesn't serve the planet. It doesn't serve the collective or the greater whole with what I'm doing, you see? And so I'm constantly taking inventory, mental internal world inventory of am I waiting for a feeling? Like, how do you really know once you're ready, right? What are you waiting for? It's like, how will you know when you're ready to lean in and actually do the thing, right? What are you actually waiting for? You're waiting for a feeling? Are you waiting for some place? Are you waiting for a specific, like, twin flame who comes along and gives you access to that infinity? Are you waiting for, soulmates to come along to help you heal you? Are you waiting for your therapist or your practitioner to reach out to you so that you come to therapy? A coach or a practitioner telling you that, right? So this waiting paradigm is not helping anybody. I realized this today, man. I'm like, I've spent a lot of time waiting for things, spent a lot, and it's my own internal inner critic that's preventing me. And very early on in my journey, I took a session with an energy coach, an NLP practitioner, and he was also, at the time, he was practicing, I believe he was practicing semen retention. He was doing a lot of content based on like different challenges that he would give himself. So he'd do like a 100 days without weed challenge, or 100 days without alcohol challenge. And I would see these, and it would really inspire me, because he was like going through his own experiences, and sharing the vulnerability and everything. And it just made me resonate with that. So I signed up for a session in college with this guy, right? Random guy I found online. And I started to take a session with him. And the biggest thing he taught me is to externalize your inner critic. That was the one tip. It was a free call, but that one takeaway changed my perspective forever, man. And Kaivan, I want to shout you out. Kaivan Hayat was his name. Shout out to you, bro. He still has a YouTube channel. You can go check it out. But man, I remember when I reached out to Kaivan, man. And I was in such a bad place. My mind was frantic. I was everywhere, okay? And he told me, name that inner critic, okay? Once you name it, you claim it. Once you label it, it becomes real. It becomes true. But guess what? As that is true, I now have power over that egregore. I now have power over that thought form now. Now it's mine. You see, I am the King Solomon's ring that holds all of these energies and entities together. I am the one, I am the pinnacle, the one who is the transmuter, the one who is the neutral point of observation, the one who is here to merge heaven and hell all together to create a beautiful earth of synchronicity and power and positive potential. Okay? So, I named my inner critic Zoinks, kind of like how in Scooby-Doo they say that, right? As a word for when they're, something weird happens or they're terrified of something. That's what they, Zoinks, And I gave him Shaggy's voice, okay, because I had a reference of that during that time. I was like, oh, yeah, my anxious voice in my head sounds like Shaggy, right? And so if I alter my own pitch in my mind when I'm complaining to myself or I'm like waiting for something to happen, like, I don't know if I should do this, Scoop. Maybe we should do this some other time. I don't really know. I'm not really sure. There might be monsters. Monsters? Yeah, Scoop, I don't know. There just might be something uncertain in the future. And when I hear that raspy teenage voice, I just go, whatever, Zoinks. Calm down. And then I awaken what? The ultra instinct Shaggy within him. You see that? Shaggy also has if you guys don't know the meme, right? There's ultra instinct Shaggy as well. So that was my internal work. Inner critic, higher self. Inner critic, higher self, right? And so that beauty of understanding that and using that technology, as soon as he gave me this technology, I also started to pass it on to people. And right now you have the Excalibur sword, in a sense. I gave you this tool, this key, this little genome code that you put into the video game and it unlocks some new level, right? This is what I'm doing. This is what I'm giving to you guys, because I understand that a lot of people are trapped in this matrix world. However, I don't want to call it a matrix world because it's God's matrix ultimately. God's plan, okay? It is that universal plan that we have to either adjust with or make something of our own, right? And I much rather am in the belief system of making something of my own, of peering into the edge of my future and understanding that there is something greater on there, on the other side, leaning into my uncertainty, leaning into unfamiliarity and unfamiliar, weird situations where your ego is saying, get out of there, or that's not for you, or, oh, that's too scary, or I don't know if you'll be good at, these little thoughts, I had a session with an adept as well as a local client of mine here in India. And shout out to Pulkit, bro. He had a screening on Shark Tank. So you already know that the people that I work with, man, they're elevating to another level, bro. They're always elevating, okay? So he's gonna be airing his brand here, and he's also known for a lot of these cloud kitchens here, okay? Very, very sharp guy, okay? Goes on marathon. He's going on a marathon, so today, actually, I believe, this morning. I was speaking to him the other day as well. He was saying, I don't know how people will react to it, or how they'll take it, or I don't know if they make me look bad, And these are very valid fears, right? If you're going on national television, these are very, very valid fears for you to have. What will people say about me? What will people do when they're around me, right? Or whatever. But what I told him is, hey, whatever they're saying about it, I will wear it as a badge of honor. You get what I mean? Like, I'm gonna wear it on my sleeve in my heart. It's like, you're a loser. I take the S of the loser, I squeeze it into a V. The S I make into a V, and then it becomes lover. In my mental world, I'm doing this. I'm constantly shifting concepts. You guys get that? That's what a magician, a mage, a sorcerer, a voodoo priest, whatever you want to call me, man. I don't know. These are just titles, right, in the physical realm. But in the metaphysical, I'm given so many of these other titles based on, the deities that I work with, and we connect with every week. By the way, we have a secret channeling for adepts only. Not going to reveal who I'm channeling either tomorrow or tonight, okay? But it's gonna be powerful, I can already tell, okay? And for the people who've shown up for the free events and even got a fuck ton of value from just showing up to one of these events, I commend you, because you're taking a risk that is a very calculated risk, and you're there to improve your life, right? You're there to use this technology that I've been exploring for many years now. I mean, this whole thing has been like a 2-year project in a sense, right? We've just been delving in, and we're also going to be uploading all of those old school channelings that we used to do back in like 2022, you know what I mean? Man, we have all of those. We used to run a dating company for a little while, very short period, a little glitch in the matrix during that time, where we cultivated this program called Matches into Dates. And guess what? I started dating girls. It was amazing, getting a fuck ton of matches. Why? Because all of our intention was into dating, right? During that time, that phase. My homie Ryan, who's my business partner, he got a proposal from a former model, in his beat up car, right? Like, incredible things happened, right? During that phase. It was all from working with these energies and spirits. That's what really started to amplify this energy out there. Not that we were trying to fine tune and create love spells and, manipulate the energy fields or whatever, but it was just the knowledge and the way we utilized that knowledge that we received from these beings, and then put it into applicability, right? Put it into good use, not waiting around for that information to float into our minds, but really doing something with it. So now I'm understanding that when these beings are doing something, sometimes they're gonna push us, right? Like, I remember I was complaining yesterday, and then I just closed my gate or whatever, like in the balcony door, and my finger got stuck in it. I was like, ow. And then I realized, like, wait a minute, maybe there's energies or, my spirit guides are telling me something here. Slow it down. You're gonna hurt yourself, okay? Even the day before that, I was like, I broke a plate. I never break a plate, bro. I'm very cautious about these things, but these little weird, like, I think it comes from timeline shifting too, okay? Like, sometimes when you shift a timeline, it's like Everything feels new and woozy, kind of, in a sense. And I'm starting to understand my own power again. I think that's one of the greatest things that I've understood, is that power is not external, it's internal. I try to seek alliances with powerful individuals, that's true, but at the same time I understand that I have a gift, right? I have a gift that I've been given as I'm here on this earth right now. And I've got to actualize and activate it to the best of my capacity. And one of the ways that I do that is obviously through YouTube and, you know, sharing this message with you guys. But also another thing is just understanding that it's time to lean in, man. Like, it's just time to take a step forward into the direction that you most prefer and want for yourself, okay? It's going to require a little bit of that offense energy rather than a defense energy, okay? A defense energy is like, let me protect myself. I have the energy protection. I'm fine with the world at large, right? I just want to get what's mine, not bother anybody, not step on any toes, not rock any boats, not, you know, tickle anybody with a feather or whatever, right? I'm looking at me, and you're kind of creating a crystallized, like, version of you that's slowly separating itself, right? It's becoming unidimensional. Whereas if you're like, hey, I got me, and it doesn't necessarily mean I have to cut off everybody or block anybody from my family, but what I am going to notice, I'm going to drop the things in my mind that are prejudiced ideas from them, weird dogmas, opinions of others, you know. I'm going to drop all of those because they don't serve me any longer, and I'm going to choose what to focus on. It's very powerful. One of the deities brought this up, I believe it was King of Kerbo, who told Phoenix. And by the way, guys, New Zealand retreat, I've said it about the 15th time by now, okay? New Zealand retreat, you want to be there. We're going to go out to different venues and clubs, socially approach women and so forth. We are also going to go to spiritual locations in New Zealand, so, you know, take that how you want. Lake Tuapo is the epicenter, the gate 11 on the earth chakras, or the dragon ley lines, and the dragon souls are coming back, you know, during that period. Well, yeah, man, there's a lot of good energies, very powerful epiphanies that are going to happen. Mental sovereignty was brought up in the channeling. I believe it was King of Kerbo who said this. The ability to discern that this is my imagination, and my imagination does not have to look like somebody else's imagination. This is powerful. This is gold I'm giving you here, guys, right? And you can get these epiphanies like this if you show up to the events. But then again, you know, a lot of these things take time. There's skepticism. I want you to be skeptical. I want you to be skeptical. I want you to pummel me with questions. What is this? What's going on? Okay, don't annoy me, obviously. But I want you to be inquisitive, right? Curious, intrigued. That's what a good student is. Okay, that's what a good student is. They go the extra mile, right? Have you ever seen a good student? They don't read what's in the curriculum. They go the extra mile. They do their own research. This is what the adepts are doing, right? They're doing their own research on their own deities. They're bringing it to me and Ryan G, and they're like, you know, leaning ahead. A lot of the adepts, they already have their 7 main deities. A lot of them have their 7 main deities already. So you guys got to catch up, okay? Some of you guys are just learning about this. What do you mean 7 deities? What are you talking about? What are chakras? I don't know. The more you try to get in your head about it, rather than experiencing that intelligence that you have within your own body, when your body and mind join hands, there's something that happens called coherence, okay? When your body and mind form an alliance, there's something called coherence. Another way to say that is a very, very strong energy of gratitude, okay? Where you understand you're not this unidimensional, you know, monochrome being, but you're this stereoscopic, you know, telekinetic, technicolor, multidimensional, infinite warrior of the astral realms. okay? You're not so easy to explain. Oh yeah, that's just Fred. He's from next door. You know, he's a librarian. He clocks in his time. He does his thing, you know? He figures it out, what's good for him or what isn't. That's fine. Yeah, Fred can do all he wants with that, you know what I mean? But that doesn't take away from the brilliance of Fred knowing that maybe he has a specific backing, right? A specific backing in this whole other world where he has maybe a whole stream of beings, right, that are helping him in the metaphysical world that he doesn't even know about, right? His body and mind are speaking to him in these subtle whispers, and he only listens when it starts to shout. You guys get that? He's only listening to the very cut and dry facts of what somebody else is telling him. And so like the guy who owns that library or whatever, he's having a conversation with him and just listening to him. But what if he could contact Thoth or something like this, you know, and speak to Thoth, and then just makes his library journey a lot smoother and easier, and he can figure out like, this is making the Dewey Decimal System way easier for me, and I can go click, 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 okay? By the way, guys, my grandmother used to be a librarian, okay? So you guys know where I'm coming from, okay? Librarian and banker, okay? But let me tell you, this is no ordinary banker, my grandfather. He's a musician too, played the harmonium, okay? You've heard of the harmonica, have you heard of the harmonium? The right? With the, it's like the accordion coming on this side, and you press the synthesizer keys, right? So amazing instrument. I used to listen to that when I was a very small child growing up in my household here in Kolkata. And from my other side, you know, think of this, anthropologist, geneticist grandfather. From my mother's side, that was my father's side, right? And I mean, my grandmother, what was she? She was like a sword fighter, bro, at one point. She was doing a lot of cool things. But again, she was a nurturing mother who took care of like 4 kids or whatever, right? And so really get that. And then my parents, right? My father teaches meditation. He's retired now. He used to be a psychiatrist. My mother is a gynecologist, okay? So she's a woman's doctor. So think about this, where it's like the universe gave me all the littest things on planet Earth. You get what I mean? Like, I'm so grateful and blessed that I'm in this opportunity right now. Whereas a lot of people, they, you know, kind of get spoiled, and they're just like, oh yeah, I'm just a rich kid, you know, he gets what he wants. No, I had to actually work for this, and I have total and utter respect for my parents. Honestly, honest to God, man. If it wasn't for their intuition and guidance and support, I don't know if I've come this far in this journey, to be honest with you guys, okay? And a lot of people in the West, they leave their parents, right? They go, all right, I'm 18 now, see ya, mom and dad, and then they never turn their backs on them, right? And in some way, that individualistic culture is okay. It's good in a sense. You gain your own autonomy, but also that collectivist support of a community, of a tribe, understanding that you're connected to everybody around you, right? You're not like separate from them, right? You are making an impact. You're causing ripples in this landscape, in this experience of life. You really got to think about this stuff, man, because this is the stuff that expands minds, expands consciousness. You start learning lessons, right? And then you don't have to procrastinate on things anymore, because you understand that the only time I have is now, right? Once you go on the spiritual journey, you're like, the only time I have is now. I might as well attack the day and not always be in defense. Are you attacking the day? Are you going through the movements? Are you giving yourself space to breathe at the same time, right? Are you figuring out your energy levels? Are you realizing what drains you and takes your energy away from you? Maybe you're in a relationship where somebody else's energy is literally draining you, right? Draining you, and now you're in depression and then you're blaming them? No, you gave them permission to get into your head. You got attached to them. You got spiritually, mentally, emotionally, physically, whatever, attached to them. And now you feel you can't get a repetition of that experience. I'm sure you can. But you've blocked off that possibility in your own mental realm. This was a powerful epiphany for me today, guys. So And so now I'm thinking about this. I don't want to be waiting around any longer. I'm going to be creating experiences. I'm going to be creating echo chambers of positivity, events that expand the consciousness, that aligns us towards this flow state lifestyle. This flow state lifestyle isn't for everybody. Okay, I keep saying it. It's not for everybody, but for those who it is for, may you never be the same again. I hope you have an incredible day. Thank you for watching. Thank you for supporting the channel. You already got this. Upward Spiral Gang, you already know what it is. May we never be the same again. Uncle Makara out.